Welcome to Create a Page with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and it's time for sketch number 6 from the Creative Memories Worldwide Virtual Crop going on this September 2023. I am going to be working with our Vivid Melodies collection, and I think I kind of stayed with the theme of autumn and fall that so many of my watchers on my YouTube channel voted on my community tab and they really wanted to see autumn and fall. So that's where I put a lot of effort into posting from. Um, let's take a look. How's about that? Let's get into this project. Sketch number 6, Vivid Melodies. There we go. All right. So I mentioned in sketch number 5 that I was working with quite a bit of scraps, and in sketch number 6, it's no different. For whatever reason, I did not have much of the butterscotch pack left from our Vivid Melodies collection, so I improvised a bit and made do with what I had. And this is our sketch. I pulled out my custom cutting system. I created some mats, and I even had enough of this little scrap to do a full circle and then also another half circle, which I will show you coming up, but I had to show you all. This is kind of what I've been working with the last couple of sketch layouts here. Not that I'm complaining, because I am enjoying using up some of the scraps. So I am using the green plaid for my base, though, because I tried a couple of sheets of cardstock and I just wasn't happy with the combinations I was coming up with. So we're using green plaid, mostly because I had a little bit of butterscotch plaid left. And this also has some yellow blossoms on the back. Those are what's going to run through the two sides of our pages here. And these two strips are 2 inches by 12 inches, and I think I may go ahead and put them down. So then that way I am not getting myself all over the place, and I stay on task and make sure I am following what makes a good sense to put this page together. And then I'll tell you as I go along what I've done. So about a half an inch in on each side. You can pull out your mat again. You can pull out your ruler if you want. I am going to eyeball it. It is right around a half inch here. And I'm okay if it's not exactly on the dot, so to speak. So, oops, I forgot to make sure I had my chat just in case any of you talk to me so I can see if anybody makes a comment. All right. I will talk about this in a moment. And I'm going to talk about the mats next after I talk about my border sticker here, because the border sticker is going to go on to our sides. Hang on, let me think a minute. How was I going to run this one? Was it over or under? I think it's over. This is going to go, I might as well talk about it. So I had two border stickers that actually matched left in this color scheme. And so we're going to run these through the middle of here. In our sketch, it had 2 layers of paper, and I didn't have enough paper to layer into the strips. And so I thought, let's go ahead and show a border sticker. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and use our border stickers going down through the center. It's going to add some interest. And since I didn't have the paper, it's going to work as a nice little substitute. There we go. I also have cut 3 mats at 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 inches. It's the one that has the really light blossom on it in the back. These are going to run through the bottom part of our page. I'm going to talk about my mirrored scallop chain here, because you also voted that you wanted to see a lot of punches this month as well. So I pulled out my border maker system and I punched one mirrored scallop chain because when I got done cutting these three mats, I had about an inch of paper left. And I thought, what can I do with that? I can't, it didn't look right with another strip on the page. So I decided to go ahead and cut the mirrored scallop chain. It kind of goes nicely with some of the other rounded shapes on the page, and used up the last scrap of this paper. Another thing I did was I had the sheet also, and I had to miter it together because it was also two 2-inch strips. And so I just took one of my index sheets, I cut it, I stuck it on the back to hold the two pieces together so that way I could create a mat for the top of my layout here. And I think this is going to go a little bit further over. And then also I cut that circle out that you saw from the scrap earlier. This is going to run this way, I believe. And I know this goes behind these. Hang on, let me stick this on. So I did also pull out. So this is I used my custom cutting system and I cut 2 circles from that piece of scrap I showed you with the largest circle using the red blade on the inside track. So red blade inside track with the largest circle, custom cutting system is what I used to make these 2 circles. And then I used my blue blade with, again, another index sheet to create the smaller piece because this is going to be my journal box for the bottom of the page. And then I added just a little bit of extra decoration to it because I had this piece that I believe came with the the berry embellishment pack. And I thought, well, I need to add just some extra color or something to it. So I pulled out my pens and I pulled out orange, I pulled out a yellow, and I pulled out a brown. And I went ahead and I just highlighted so that way it would match as if this embellishment was made for the page. And then I just decorated the journal box to match the dots and the coloring of my embellishment to add a little extra interest. So let me stick this down to see if I remember exactly how I had this put together now. That's always the interesting part. I always feel a little bit like I'm doing a puzzle on the live streams, trying to remember exactly how I had it set up. This one's going to get a little bit of repositionable tape to go onto here. And make sure I have my wheel up on my tape runner. More than once I've gone to use my tape runner upside down. So I always check to see where the wheel is on it. All right. So there you go. There's that one. And I think I had this running this way. So this is running across through here, and I am okay. Because I actually had to double check. I'm okay with it running over my mat because when my photo goes on, you're going to see the continuation of the scallop chain. And I think I'm okay with that. So you decide if you don't want that piece, don't add that piece. You don't need to. Like I said, I'm happy to be using up so many scraps with these last couple layouts and finishing off some of what I have from these collections here that I've used quite a bit and just hadn't realized how much I'd actually used. And now that the new fall collections are coming out, I'm happy that my older ones are almost done here. Let's see. I had this so you could see the sticker over here. Even though I'm running that, okay. Looks about even, doesn't it? I think so. Pretty good. Stick it down. Put this one over here, again with repositionable. It's going to go across the top, and then I will add my photo later. I actually think I'm going to lift up my embellishment piece, so I feel like I wanted it underneath this and not over it, because I went to all that trouble of drawing or coloring, I guess. It actually was quite relaxing to do that. But let me see here. See how it looks under real quick, and then, yep, I like it better under. All right, there we go. Okay, that's running through. That's going to stick back down. Using my multi-purpose tool, that worked out perfectly to get that lifted, and then since I used the repositionable tape, it wasn't a problem. Okay, so now these three are going to go through the bottom of my page here, and I need enough space to fit this guy up and under here. Actually, I'm going to put this down first. So let's do that. And this is basically going to touch the bottom of the page, off center a little bit. And these pieces, it's off because this is where I cut, like I said, I cut my other circle, and that's essentially what it had cut out of the paper. But see, when you put your mat on, it covers it up. So I wanted these two lined up with the edge of the one plaid, and then, no, maybe not. This is going to have to go over a little bit more. So that way we have space. You're going to see a little bit of green. We're going to bring it over, and okay. Just want to make sure I get things lined up nicely here. And I'm not going to place it tight. I'm going to just place it lightly initially because I think this is where I want it. But I want to see once I get all three, just to make sure. I might want to do that up a little bit more. Yep, so that way I have a little bit more of a journal box down here. Okay, over and up, Catherine. Uh-oh. Okay. All right, let me make sure that looks reasonably straight. I'm off in the middle just a little bit here, and I probably should have cut that one off because now my mat isn't quite covering it, but I think that still looks pretty good. So there we go. Let's go ahead and get those down on there. And honestly, that is it. Part of the reason I did all of this coloring is because they only had border stickers for this collection, and I'm basically out of embellishments. This one was for the other color. I don't seem to have any other butterscotch embellishments, so hey, I made my own. I think it looks pretty nice on this page, matching my little journal box accent I did down here. And then when I get my photos on, you probably won't even know, but you can even add a small picture in here if you have something you want to highlight, just a small picture, cut it on your custom cutting system. And in fact, when you buy your custom cutting system, you get one of these little, what is it, a template, and you can look and see which blade and which template you should use. This looks like it's the middle one. If you go with the blue blade inside, if you go with the green one, you're going to hit just the edge of your embellishment. So this is the middle circle. Use your inside if you want to add something inside that circle, like a picture or whatever. All right, so here we go. Sketch number 6, one last time. And let me hold this up closer so you all can see it again. I hope you liked my interpretation of this sketch. Leave a thumbs up if you do. And I am going to try to be back tonight with at least one more, because all 12 are out. So we're halfway through. I still have 6 more to live streams to go for you. I can see this going into probably Tuesday. I'm guessing. I think that's how it was last September. It kind of stretched into the week a little bit because it's so many, but it's fun and I enjoy showing you my interpretations for them all. So thank you for joining me, and I'll be back again in just a little bit. Until next time.